Mr. Suli Breaks.
I was stripped of my childhood. At the age of 16, I walked naked into manhood. Cause my parents were Rolling Stones. No, they were never in a rock band or on the cover of a magazine. It's just that they never hung around long enough to gather any moss. Trips back and forth to Africa in search of a better life for us made me feel like the one we had was never good enough. The one I gave them was never good enough. So me and my siblings learned to harvest ourselves, trying to see the fruits of my labor hanging from my family tree. But you see, it's hard to grow trees when you live in the city. So by the age of 17, I knew walking a certain way would have consequences. That if my trousers were too high around my waist or my trainers were slightly out of date, I might as well be walking with a target painted on my back. You see, you learn to do adult shit real quick. You learn to add bass in your voice when asked provocative questions. You learn the exact amount of time required to hold a man's gaze so we don't refer to you as a pussy-o. You learn to read maps, because if you ended up in the wrong postcode, it could have been a rap. You learn that death doesn't have an age limit, and that guns are only cool when they're pointed at you in Terminator or PlayStation movies. You learn that people can be cruel. You finally understand what rent is and see how your parents' mood slightly changes whenever it's due. You learn how the system deliberately chooses to forget about you. How we went to school for 18 years thinking that we learned so much, but we didn't learn a thing. The only thing we learned is how to stop being children. Because you see, the adult world isn't designed for us to dream. It's not designed for us to only feel love. It's a place where a smile is frowned upon, laughter is suspicious, and honesty is betrayal. It's childhood betrayal. Because my city is bleeding. And the system keeps reopening the wounds I'm trying to use my words to heal. We were just rich kids, we were just poor kids with rich dreams. Dreams so expensive our own parents couldn't afford to believe in them, making us feel like they didn't believe in us. Because where I'm from, how much your life is worth is measured down the 9-inch barrel of a 6x5-inch 28-pound piece of metal with a carefully crafted 9mm piece of lead inside it. That goes bang when these youths get excited. Never fear, car here, the other side is beautiful. While over here, mothers are unaware that their daughters lost their virginity in a toilet cubicle. When I look at our situation, it's pretty depressing. Is there not enough answers or too many questions? Look at our situation, come such a long way from the plantation. The fact that my raffler and jumper's 100% pure cotton is amazing, but then the irony's forgotten, because that means whether I'm in the field or Westfield, I'm still just picking cotton. Look at our situation. Come such a long way from the plantation. The fact that my raffler and jumper's 100% pure cotton is amazing, but then the irony's forgotten, because that means whether I'm in the field or Westfield, I'm still just picking cotton. So, from time to time, I have conversations with my inner child. He's always smiling. His row of glistening teeth are bridged to the happiness that I sometimes forgot, and he's always dancing, even though his moves are far from graceful and his body's out of date. And he mocks me. He says I may be weak, but at least I was never afraid. If being a man means being afraid to trust, being afraid to love, afraid to continue running, chasing those realities that we formed that you now decided were better called dreams, look at you. You're too afraid to even be yourself. Tell me, who's really the immature one? If you let them take me away from you, all you have left is everything that they gave you. Letting them take your child away from you is the difference between the profit of a man who gains the world at the price of his soul. If you so desperately want to be an adult, if you so desperately want to be accepted, then go. But he says you will come back. They all come back. They all want to return to their inner child. I just don't know if I'll still be here waiting when you do. Thank you very much.